Hello. I thought I'd do a quick video message, say Happy New Year to everyone, and to hold myself a little bit accountable, really, by putting things out there. The last year, I haven't been very social. The year before, we lost one of our dogs very suddenly. We had major building work going on and we were living out in the barn. Say a barn, it had been redone, so we were sleeping out there, and it had a shower room and everything, and it was warm and toasty and all of that. It's like a little self-contained unit. We were living out there while they were doing major renovations in the house, and we didn't get back in until just before the previous Christmas 24. And then it was just trying to sort the house out, get back into my sewing rhythm, which I didn't really do. I did things if I had to, but I didn't really get back into it. I sort of lost my mojo a little bit, lost the enthusiasm, and just couldn't face going out to my sewing room and tackling what I needed to. So this year, this is about, I've had a bit of a talk with myself. It's all too easy to sit indoors and forget that the world exists out there, but it does exist. So this is to hold me to account, because I have had a bit of a talk with myself. I've got to start being more sociable. I've got to start going out. I've signed up for a few things that are pushing the anxiety buttons, but it has to be done. I have to push forward. Otherwise, I will sit in my house, in my own little world, and not do anything, and not speak to anyone, not really see anyone. So I'm trying to make a change for that. I'm trying to be organised. Years ago, I used to live off a planner. And I put everything down, days when I was going to work, when I was going to sew, when I was going to plan new patterns, things like this and that. I would put it all down. I would keep myself organised. And I haven't done that since, the last few years. Well, we've had this major building project going on. There was no point. I just did it as and when. So I've downloaded a new planner onto my iPad. Lots of stickers, and it's very colourful and it's pretty. So I'm just trying to get back into the swing of planning my weeks, planning my time, planning my time more effectively, and using my time rather than wasting it, because I realised most of last year most of it was wasted time. I did a few things, but most of it was wasted. What I've got on this month is I've got my Keep on Sewing retreat to go to in January in Coventry. Really looking forward to that. I'm making an illusion quilt, which I've always wanted to do, but never took the time out to just get a pattern and try and do it. So because there's a workshop on it, it's going to make me do it. So I'm going to do it. I'm really looking forward to that. I need to go out to my sewing room and check fabrics, because rather than just willy-nilly go and order more fabrics for it, I'm sure I have got something out there that I can use. I've got enough out there that I should be able to come up with something. So I need to sort out for that. At the end of the month, very, very excited. I'm going to a new sewing group, Hampshire Sewing Retreat, I think, Sewing Circle. Awful, I've forgotten the name. But anyway, I got in touch with the woman. They're not far from me. They meet up. It's about 50 minutes to an hour away, so not far. But Matt Wilding, who created the most fabulous tessellated heart bag pattern, which as soon as it was released at the beginning of December, I ordered it. And I was like, right, that's going to be my project over Christmas. When I've got a bit of time, I'm going to make that. And then I kept seeing posts on Instagram from this Hampshire Sewing Circle. And I thought, you know, I love my Coventry retreats, don't get me wrong, and I will always go 4 times a year. Love them, love the people there. But this one is a bit closer, and sometimes it's just for a day, sometimes it's half a day. So I thought, you know, that'll push me to go out. It's also pushing me because I'm going to meet people I don't know. So the anxieties are kicking off over that. But at the end of January, they're doing a 2-day workshop, and Matt Wilding's coming to teach us to do the bag. So I was like, right, that's going to push me to go and try a new place and meet new people. And because I really want to do it, I know it will push me. So I've signed up for that. So I've got that coming up. Anxieties are going through the roof, but I'm trying not to think about that. So, you know, if my planner doesn't say be anxious, I'm going to try not to be anxious. But I thought I'd show you what I've been doing, because what I have been doing this year, while I've been keeping my head down and staying indoors a lot, is I've been doing English paper piecing, which I love. Anything with hexagons, I love. And I found this woman, Elise Beck, I don't know how you say her name. She's in America, and she has some lovely patterns, and she had this pattern called Dilly Flowers. You might have seen an odd post on them. This is a dilly flower. I love it. You know me, anything that sort of resembles a daisy, I'm there with bells on. So I had a fat quarter stack that was all sort of florals and spring colours. So I thought, oh, well, as it's flowers, I'll use that. I had some white, you know, white on white in my stash. So I've made a few. I've made about 25 of these so far. And I've now, one of the fabrics in the stash was like this, sort of labels type thing. So I've made these joining triangles. So I am sewing them on to the hexagons, and then I'm sewing them in rows like that. And then I'm going to put the 25 together that I've got, 24, 25, something like that. See how big it is. Might be enough just for a small lap quilt, which is fine. I don't need mega quilts all over the place. And I might just have it to have out in the garden. So I'm going to finish that. That's one of the EPPs I've been doing. So we'll see how that goes. And then Elise also did an advent calendar, and I was like, oh, yes, it'll make me sit down and sew. Not that I need much excuse to sit down and sew, but I thought, no, I'll sign up for that and I'll do that. And look at these. I had another fat quarter stack in my stash, as we all do. And I thought, well, they'll all go. So I've done all of these. Everyone is a star. All the colours are from the same range, so they all go. And there's 25 of them, obviously, because it was an advent calendar. So I was like, I don't know how to join them. But I thought I might do the same sort of thing as this. Put triangles on with one of the other fabrics in, or a couple of the other fabrics that's left over in the stash. And make each hexagon into its own star shape and interlock them that way. So that's sort of what's buzzing about in my head at the moment. These have been designed as quilt as you go, so you can see that you've got your 1/4 inch seam allowance there. So I've got to remove the papers, obviously. I've got to put my wadding and my backing, quilt them, and then I can fold the edge of the backing over and stitch it down on the top. Then I'll have to do the same with the stars that I want to put on them, and then I can join them all together. So I'm putting that one away for a little while. That's going in a box because I'm working on my dilly flowers. But my main project for Christmas, you may have seen a quick photo, was our dog we lost last year, Ralphie. My husband really misses it. We both really miss him, but my husband really misses him. He was like his little mate. So foundation paper piecing, I wasn't happy enough with English paper piecing. I was like, oh, I'm going to find this pattern. Foundation paper piecing. And I made this quilt. That's my Ralphie. I found the pattern on Etsy. I don't know how many pieces are in it. I don't know how many hours it took. I will actually at some point count up, because the eyes, each eye piece was less than 4 inches square, and each piece had 32 different bits of fabric in. So obviously as it comes out towards the edge it gets bigger, but I don't know if you can see. So I put him together, and then with quilting I put the detail of his fur on. I love his nose. Look at his nose there. And it does, the eyes especially, they do look like my Ralphie. So that was Ross's Christmas present. Oh boy. Yeah, so obviously Ruby down there, she's going to start feeling left out. So I'm going to have to do one of Ruby as well at some point, but that can wait for another day. At the moment, I've got my English paper piecing to do. I have also, I'm teaching bag making again at the COS retreat in Coventry in April. So had ideas rattling around in my head for a new bag pattern for that. And I think I've worked it out in my head. So I just need to get it on paper. Hello, Ruby darling. Get it on paper and put it together and make sure that what's in my head works and the bag all fits. And then if it does, then I can do that lovely job of going on to Adobe Illustrator and drafting out the pattern. Ruby, drafting out the pattern, which it's a great program, don't get me wrong, but I don't use it often enough. And then every time I go to use it, I'm like, how do I do that? How do I put that curved line in? How do I split that design there? How do I do that? And so it takes so much longer because I just can't remember. So one of my challenges this year is I need like a reference book. So when I want to, but I need it in my language. So when I want to split that part or add this on, I can write in my reference book, to do this, this is what you do. Click on this, click on that, da 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 da. Call up this box and whatever. So I need to, so my challenge will be while I'm drafting the pattern is to take notes and make my little reference book for it. I need to get organised. That's going to be my key word for this year. Hopefully I can stick to it. I don't make resolutions because it's just, in my experience, they weren't resolutions. I don't actually know the proper meaning of resolution, but they were wishes, and wishes don't mean anything unless you put action behind them. And I would just wish, not put the action in and then think, oh, I failed again. So, you know, and when you suffer with all sorts of depression and anxiety and different things like that, it's all too easy to get a big downer on yourself. So I try not to do that. So, so for this year, I'm going to try and be organised. I need to be organised. I need to organise my room. I've got patterns of quilts that I want to, I've seen quilts and I'm like, oh my God, I love that. I want to make that. I'll buy the pattern. I'll buy a load of fabric for that pattern. And then it all gets delivered. And because a lot of it was, we had building work going on and that, it's just sat in boxes. So I need to go through my room. It needs a bit of a tidy up after the Christmas mad sewing. Oh dear, it's just starting to snow outside again. Oh well. So I need to give my room a bit of a tidy up, but I also want to sort projects out and I want to put them in boxes. So in order of that I think I'm going to do them. So if I feel like cutting out that quilt, I can pull the box out. I can get all the cutting done. I can put it back in the box when I'm ready to want to sew it. I've also, what's arriving this month is Alice Caroline Flower Garden block of the month. I've signed up for that. It's all in Liberty Fabrics. I missed it last year. I saw it and I was too late for sign-ups last year. And I've been watching people on Instagram make it and I'm like, oh, I love it, I love it, I love it. And then at some point I was like, oh, I'm just going to have to try and find the pattern and make it. But you know what it's like when it's left to your own devices. There's always something else you can make. There's always another project to be done. So you tend not to get around to it. Well, I don't. That's just me. But in December, I think it was, I saw a little post that they were going to run it again because it was so popular. So sign up. So I quickly signed up. I don't really know what I've signed up for. Well, I didn't. I've since found out because there's been a lot of excited people saying, oh, I'm getting this month and blah, blah, blah. What do I get? So you get all the fabrics, all the paper templates, and the instructions. I've ordered a nice set of threads to hand piece with that I think will blend really nice with them. So yeah, that's coming. So yeah, I'm doing lots and lots of hand sewing, but I will, and that's another reason I need my planner, because I need to plan time when I'm going to sit in the house and hand sew and time when I need to be out there working on my machines. So yes, I'm trying to be organised this year. I'm trying to be more sociable this year, hence this video, because I need to put myself out there and stop being scared of the outside world. And I need to communicate more. So that's what I'm doing. So that's my little roundup, look forward post. I'm going to try and do one of these a month to keep myself on track. So we'll see how that goes. Will it die off before Easter? Who knows? But I've got a lot to do. Busy year this year. My younger sister is 50 this year. Big birthday for her. There's going to be lots of celebrations throughout the year. And we are having the most fabulous holiday with her in June. As a bit of a family treat. So there'll be her and my brother-in-law and my nieces, me and Ross, and our friends Roy and Laurie, who come on holiday with us as well. So there'll be 8 of us. So reminds me, I need to email the hotel and the resort and get put a request in for the rooms, the villas that I want us all to have, so we're sort of together. So I must do that later. I'll do that when I get off of here. Now I've remembered. Something else that should have gone in the planner. And that's another thing. My memory of late has been shocking. I sort of think of something. I think, oh, I need to look that up. I pick my phone up to look it up. And I've forgotten straight away. I don't know if it's stress. I don't know if it's part of the medication I take. I don't know if it's, I don't know. I don't know if it's a bit of dementia. Is it just because I'm getting old? Because I'm going to be 57 this year? Who knows? But anyway, I need to write things down because I just forget everything. So anyway, that's me. I've probably bored you all to tears. You're probably not interested in anything I've got to say. But this is more about me being accountable to myself and pushing myself out of my comfort zone. Being organised and pushing myself out of my comfort zone. That are my 2 tasks for this year. So hopefully this helps. Speak to you soon. Have a great day.